Hi everyone, Mauro here. I was watching the Taylor Fritz and Schwartzman match, and there were some things that I wanted to talk to you because I'm watching Schwartzman, which is supposed to be, well, not supposed. He's a really good clay court player. I believe he's one of the best clay court players on the tour. But I was watching him. I was pretty surprised that he was losing. I'm not surprised that he losing to Fritz because when Fritz game is on, he's a tough guy on clay court or hard court. But to be honest, I was quite surprised that he was losing to him on clay court, and especially he's down the first set 6-2, and so I kind of I've been watching the match for a little bit because I wanted to see what was going on. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is that being Fritz, I don't know if any of you have seen Fritz play live. The guy hits the ball really hard. He hits pretty flat, forehand and backhand. He puts some spin on it, but he's mostly like pretty flat and a lot of power on the serve. He's a big guy. I mean, big guy. And I wanted to mention that I noticed right away several mistakes that Schwartzman was doing, and I'm really surprised because he's really good on clay and he's a very smart player. But I mean, he just seems to be doing the same mistakes over and over and over. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the things that he has. I mean, the match is not over. Schwartzman might still come back and win, but I mean, Fritz seems to have a pretty good hold of that second serve so far. And one of the things that I noticed is that Schwarzman is rallying too much. He's just rallying with Fritz. Fritz is fascinated by it. I'm sure he's so happy with that. Schwarzman is rallying. They're pretty much going from no man's land to no man's land, and he's playing kind of like the kind of game that most people on hardcore will play with Fritz, the rally kind of game, and he's doing it on clay, and of course that's helping Fritz. He's not having to change directions or get down or move. So that is the only thing that is going on, is that Schwarzman is making it so much easier for Fritz to stay on the match. So that's one of the things when you're playing a guy that is tall. And I'm talking, this is on clay or hard court. But if it's on clay, you just double it or triple the things that I'm gonna tell you guys. They're even more effective and more important. And the first thing is you want to play deep. You have to hit deep in order to keep the guy moving. Not really, because I'm not really thinking, okay, everybody hurts when you're being hit deep. But the guys that are really tall, that are big, you hit deep and you don't have to hit first. If you hit in deep, you don't have to hit too wide open on the baseline for that shot to hurt them. So hitting deep, you keeping them from hurting you. And the second one, if you hit deep to a big guy and that shot is just like 3 or 4 yards away from them, that's a lot more work for a guy that is tall than for a guy like me or like you. Is probably like 5'8", 5'10", something like that. So deep is always good against everyone, but against the big guys, that's even more important. It goes a little bit to the side, and it's gonna be a lot more work for them. The second thing is you have to go for angles. Anytime you can, not really going for fast shots, trying to hit through the guy, which is what seems to me that Schwarzman is trying to do. No, you gotta go for angles. You got to make the big guy. He's like an Eiffel Tower. If you rush that, if you have to move the tower, like fast from one side to the other, he's gonna struggle. It's gonna have a difficult time moving and reacting and changing directions. So you gotta hit deep, and then you have to make the change of directions. How? Mostly with angles. Take some power off, go for banana shots, but you want to hit more kind of towards that corner of the service box, by the singles line on the side on both sides of the court. So you want to really focus on hitting those angles, doing the same on the serves. It's hard to hit through a guy that is so big. It's hard to hit through those guys when you're serving. So you gotta pinpoint more the areas where you know that the guy, I'm not gonna hit through him, but I just want to get the guy off balance. That is the key. You got to get balance of the guy off balance, and that's how you do it. Start going deep. Start going for angles. So, the third thing is you have to do variation. If you don't have a good slice, you better practice it, because I mean, you're gonna be you know that it doesn't matter what level you play. You're gonna play a lot of guys that are tall, and the better your slice on the forehand and the backhand, the more difficult you're gonna make it for them. You gotta hit. You gotta do brush variations. You gotta go for drop shots. You gotta slice the forehand. You gotta slice the backhand. You gotta make him change directions. And when I say change directions, it doesn't have to be a winner. You can hit the guy. You can hit a drive on the forehand to the other guy's forehand, and then he's just gonna reach out a little bit for that ball and trying to come back. You can even just slice that ball back to his forehand, and they're gonna have to reach for that ball, and you're already throwing that guy off balance. And that's when you really, I always mention, guys, when you're moving the guy around, even if you're coming to the net late, come forward. Even on the pros, if you pay attention, there are tons of points. I just saw a couple of points where Schwartzman was moving Fritz all over the place, and he had on every rally that I saw those two, he had at least 2 or 3 chances to come forward and put the ball away like this. And instead, Fritz get to that ball, play the ball deep, and he had to start over. On one of the rallies, Fritz got to the ball, play the ball back deep, just floating ball back to no man's land. And again, because Schwartzman doesn't have the firepower to hit through, even on those shots that are kind of easy to, for most players to hit through the other guys. Schwartzman doesn't have that kind of firepower, so he had to pretty much start over the point. And they rally after that shot. They rally for 10 times, and he ended up losing the point. So when you make a good shot, when you make an angle shot, a banana shot, or you hit deep, sometimes we hit that ball, and I keep repeating this: when you hit that ball, you make a good shot, and oh my God, you didn't expect it. Come forward. I mean, of course, you gotta find where you're standing, and if you're in balance, and you're probably right by the baseline. If you're too far back, you don't want to do it. You're probably too far. I mean, sometimes you still probably even behind the baseline. You're probably good. You might come late to the net, but the other guy sees you and they just go high. He didn't even see you. And they just float that ball, thinking that you're gonna stay back there. So pay attention to the angles. Pay attention which shots you can forward. You don't have to hit a winner when you make that volley. Many times you're gonna be volleying around the service line, and you don't have to put that ball away. Just make the guy move. Any guy, doesn't matter if it's a good guy. It can be a guy that is like regular height, but you get the guy off balance with a volley that you're late, but you just got to make the guy move, and you're forcing him to hit the ball on the run, and then you're moving forward, so you're forcing him not to only hit the ball on the run, but he has to make a good shot, and then he has to recover because you're going after your ball. So it's just putting a lot more pressure on them. So deep shots, go for angles, variation, a lot of slices, a lot of drop shots. You have to imagine this. You have the 2 service boxes. Well, the no man's land is like another 2 service boxes there. So you have 4 service boxes on the other side of the court, on the side of your opponent. You have to use all 4 of them. All 4 of them. And a lot of players, they just go for no man's land. They just go for the big box, and that's it. When usually, if that's all you use, that means that you don't know how to hit slices and drop shots and do that variation that most Latin Americans and European players can do, which is one of the reasons why I think that Americans haven't had another good guy, like good player on the tour, because it's the same mold, the same type of play that it was 20 or 30 years ago. I still don't see a guy that has that variation. So if you're not using the service boxes, that means that you're just playing the typical American style of hitting everything deep, hitting everything hard to no man's land. You have to do this drop shot. You have to do those slices. You got to do every now a slice on the forehand as well, a slice on the back, and you're moving forward when the other guy is hitting late. So just remember, hitting deep, hit with angles, use a lot of variation, and use all four service boxes on the other guy's side. Okay, all right, guys. We just wanted to talk to you about it. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.